The stage lights of the Kelly Clarkson Show beamed warmly across the studio, casting a golden hue on the familiar set. Fans packed the audience rows, buzzing with anticipation for the day's special guest. Teddy Swims, the soulful singer whose raspy voice and heartfelt lyrics had taken the world by storm, was scheduled to sit down with Kelly for what was expected to be an easygoing, uplifting interview. Kelly, always known for her friendly demeanor and ability to connect with guests, opened the segment with her trademark charm. She smiled, leaned forward, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the incredible Teddy Swims." The crowd erupted in applause as Teddy walked onto the stage, his signature beard and tattoos instantly recognizable. Dressed casually in a denim jacket and sneakers, he waved modestly, giving a slight nod to the crowd before taking a seat across from Kelly. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal. Kelly complimented his latest single, praised his unique style, and asked about his upcoming tour. Teddy responded politely, but anyone paying close attention could see a hint of unease in his body language. His foot tapped impatiently, and his gaze occasionally drifted toward the floor. The tension began subtly. Kelly brought up a topic that had been swirling in the media for weeks: the rumors of behind-the-scenes disputes between Teddy and his record label. With her usual candidness, Kelly leaned forward and asked, "So, Teddy, there's been a lot of talk online about some creative differences you've had lately with your label. Can you shed some light on that? Fans are curious about what's really going on." The audience fell quiet, sensing a shift. Teddy forced a smile, but his voice carried a sharper edge than before. "I think people talk a lot online, Kelly. Not everything needs to be aired out in front of the world." He crossed his arms, his posture defensive. Kelly, perhaps misreading his tone, tried to lighten the mood. Totally, but you know, your fans really care. They want to understand the heart behind your music, and sometimes the story behind the songs makes them even more meaningful." Teddy shifted in his chair, clearly uncomfortable. "The story behind my songs is the music itself. I don't feel like I owe anyone an explanation about boardroom politics or label drama. That's not why I make music." A ripple of nervous laughter moved through the crowd. Kelly, seasoned in handling tricky interviews, attempted to soften her approach. She tilted her head and said gently, "I get that. I've been through my fair share of industry struggles too. I think people just relate to those battles. You know, it makes you more human." But Teddy wasn't having it. His voice dropped lower, filled with irritation. "Kelly, with all due respect, I didn't come here to talk about being human or label contracts. I came here to celebrate my music. I thought this was supposed to be about the songs, not a gossip column." The audience gasped softly at his bluntness. Kelly blinked, taken aback, but she kept her composure. "I hear you. I feel like the fans watching at home love the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's what makes shows like this special." That's when Teddy leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "What makes it special, Kelly, is authenticity. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm okay with people twisting my words or digging into things that don't matter. If people want drama, they can go read tabloids. If they want music, they can come to my shows or listen to my records. That's it." The room grew heavy with silence. Even Kelly, known for her quick wit, seemed momentarily lost for words. She gave a small, nervous laugh and tried to redirect. "Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about the new single Dana." But Teddy interrupted. His voice was louder now, filled with frustration. "No, because now it feels like I have to defend myself just for being here. This is exactly what I hate about these interviews. It's always about the A story, not the art. I'm tired of it." Several audience members exchanged awkward glances. The cameras continued rolling, capturing every second of the unexpected outburst. Kelly straightened in her chair, her tone shifting from playful to serious. "Teddy, I promise you, my intention was never to make you feel uncomfortable. This is a safe space, and I just want to give you the platform to share your voice. See however you want to." But the damage had been done. Teddy leaned back, shaking his head, his jaw tight. "I don't think this is the space I thought it would be." His eyes darted toward the audience, then back at Kelly. "I respect you, but I can't sit here and pretend like this is okay." The audience collectively inhaled, sensing something dramatic was about to happen. Kelly held up her hands, trying to de-escalate. "Hey, no one's asking you to pretend. Let's take a breath and just talk about what you're comfortable sharing. We can skip all the other stuff." But Teddy had already made up his mind. He stood abruptly, the scrap of his chair echoing loudly in the studio. Gasps filled the air as he adjusted his jacket and said into his microphone, "I think I'm done here." Kelly's eyes widened. "Yeah, Teddy, are you serious?" He nodded firmly, his expression unflinching. "Yeah, I didn't come here for this kind of conversation. I love my fans, but I won't let myself be turned into some storyline for ratings." The audience erupted into murmurs as he began walking toward the side of the stage. Studio crew members scrambled nervously, unsure whether to cut to commercial or keep rolling. Kelly, visibly stunned, rose from her chair. "Teddy, please see," she called after him, her voice a mix of confusion and concern. "I never meant to disrespect you. We can fix this. We can turn this around." But Teddy didn't look back. He kept walking, his figure disappearing past the stage curtain as the audience sat frozen in disbelief. The cameras caught Kelly standing alone in the center of the stage, her face betraying a rare moment of helplessness. In that instant, what was supposed to be a light-hearted, celebratory interview had turned into a viral moment destined to dominate headlines. The clash between Teddy Swims and Kelly Clarkson was no longer just a behind-the-scenes tension, it had exploded live on national television. The crowd remained in stunned silence until producers quickly cut to an emergency commercial break. But the damage, as many would later say online, had already been done. The cameras cut to commercial, but the studio buzzed with tension. Crew members darted across the stage, whispering into headsets while the audience whispered among themselves. Some fans clutched their phones, eager to tweet what they had just witnessed. Others sat frozen, trying to process how a friendly daytime interview had suddenly imploded into national drama. Backstage, Teddy Swims paced the hallway with his manager trailing behind. His fists were clenched, his chest rising and falling heavily. "I told them, man," he muttered under his breath. "I told them I didn't want to get into that label stuff. I knew it. I knew they'd try to corner me." His manager, a calm voice in the storm, placed a hand on his shoulder. "Teddy, you've got to breathe. Walking off a broken bar, it's going to blow up. Everyone's already talking." "I don't care," Teddy snapped, pulling away. "I'm not some puppet for daytime TV. I'm an artist. They think I'm going to sit there and smile while they dig into things I've already said I won't talk about. Number. I'm done with that." Meanwhile, on stage, Kelly Clarkson was still shaken. During the commercial break, she had sat quietly in her chair, sipping water and taking deep breaths. The audience, loyal to her, offered warm smiles and murmurs of support. She glanced toward her producers, who huddled together debating whether to resume the show without addressing the incident or to lean into the authenticity of what had just happened. Kelly made her choice. As the cameras rolled again, she turned to her audience with a practiced but heartfelt smile. "Well," she said, her voice steady though her eyes betrayed her disappointment, "live TV is unpredictable. That's the beauty and sometimes the challenge of what we do here. I want to say this. Teddy Swims is an incredible talent, and nothing changes that. Sometimes conversations don't go the way we expect, and that's okay." The crowd applauded, though the atmosphere was undeniably heavy. Kelly pushed through the rest of the episode, but the shadow of what had happened lingered over every segment. The social media storm. Within minutes, clips of Teddy walking off flooded social media. Fans posted shaky cell phone videos with captions like, "Did Teddy Swims really just walk out on Kelly Clarkson?" and "Most awkward daytime TV moment ever." The #TeddyWalksOff began trending on X, formerly Twitter, while TikTok users stitched the footage into reaction videos filled with gasps, memes, and debates. Reactions were split. Some fans defended Teddy. Good for him. Artists shouldn't have to talk about label drama on national TV. Kelly should have respected his boundaries. If he said no, then no means number. Others criticized him, Walking out on Kelly Clarkson, that's career suicide. Kelly was just doing her job. No need to act like a diva. Industry insiders quickly weighed in. Music journalists debated whether Teddy had mishandled the situation or whether it revealed the ongoing tension between artists and the media. Public relations experts speculated on how both teams would spin the incident. Backstage confrontation. Behind closed doors, things weren't calmer. Kelly's executive producer requested a private meeting with Teddy and his manager before they left the building. Teddy initially resisted but eventually agreed. Still fuming, in a small green room, the two sides faced each other. Kelly wasn't present. Her team didn't want emotions to flare further, but her voice was relayed through her producers. Teddy, one producer began cautiously. Kelly truly didn't mean to upset you. She asked a question that she thought your fans wanted answered. There was no intention of making you uncomfortable. Teddy leaned forward, his voice low and sharp. You don't get it. I said number. Before this interview, I said number. If someone crosses a boundary I've already made clear, I have every right to walk away. His manager added, more diplomatically, look, we respect Kelly and this platform, but we can't have Teddy's artistry reduced to clickbait. That's not who he is. The producers nodded. Though the tension remained thick, both sides knew the damage was already done. Kelly's public response. Later that evening, Kelly posted a statement on her Instagram stories. Against a simple white background, the words read, "Greater than today's show didn't go as planned, and that's the nature of live TV. I have nothing but respect for Teddy Swims and his incredible talent. We all have boundaries, and I support his right to honor his. I hope we can celebrate his music another time." It was a graceful move, one that reflected Kelly's reputation as kind-hearted and professional. Fans praised her for taking the high road. Teddy, however, remained silent. His official pages posted nothing, though fans speculated whether his silence was strategic or a reflection of ongoing anger. The ripple effect. By the next morning, entertainment news outlets had seized the story. Headlines blared across the internet. Teddy Swims storms off the Kelly Clarkson Show during heated clash. Kelly Clarkson handles on-air walkout with class. Teddy Swims sparks debate over artist boundaries and media. Morning shows replayed the footage, panelists dissected every word, and talk radio buzzed with callers debating who was right and who was wrong. Interestingly, Teddy's streaming numbers spiked. Whether out of curiosity or renewed support, more people began listening to his songs. His latest single climbed several spots on the charts overnight. Some speculated that the controversy might actually boost his career rather than damage it. Meanwhile, Kelly's show saw record ratings for the episode, though many fans expressed sadness that such a clash had overshadowed her otherwise positive platform. Fans take sides. Outside the glare of media headlines, fans organized into camps. Hashtags like #TeamTeddy and #TeamKelly trended simultaneously, each side passionately defending their favorite star. Team Teddy argued that artists deserve to protect their personal lives and should never be forced into conversations that feel exploitative. Team Kelly countered that she hadn't been malicious, that she had simply been doing her job as a host, and that Teddy's walkout was unnecessarily dramatic. The debate highlighted a deeper cultural conversation: how much access do fans and media deserve to an artist's personal struggles? Where is the line between curiosity and intrusion? Teddy breaks his silence. 2 days later, Teddy finally addressed the incident in a heartfelt Instagram live session. Sitting in his home studio, wearing a hoodie and looking visibly tired, he spoke directly to his fans. "I didn't want it to blow up like this," he began softly. "Kelly's amazing. I have nothing against her personally, but I set boundaries before that show, and they weren't respected. I've fought hard to keep my music pure and to keep the focus on what matters. I won't let myself be turned into clickbait." He paused, his eyes welling slightly. "I know walking off wasn't the best look, but in that moment, it was the only way I could protect myself. I'm sorry to anyone I disappointed. I'm grateful for the love, and I hope we can move forward through the music, not the drama." Fans flooded the chat with hearts and supportive comments. Many applauded his honesty. Critics, however, remained skeptical, arguing that he should have stayed and resolved things professionally. Kelly and Teddy's future. In the weeks that followed, Speculation continued about whether Teddy and Kelly would reconcile publicly. Some insiders hinted at a potential follow-up appearance to make amends, while others suggested the two camps preferred to move on quietly. Regardless, the clash left a permanent mark. It reminded the industry that even the most seemingly light-hearted platforms can ignite controversy, and that artists are increasingly protective of their stories in a media landscape hungry for content. For Kelly, it was another test of her resilience as a host. For Teddy, it was a defining moment that forced him to assert control over his narrative. And for fans, it was a reminder that behind every performance, every interview, and every viral clip, real people with real boundaries are navigating the spotlight.